Welcome in one and all to another Pink Demon Fresh Shave. My name's Regan, and I'd like to apologize for only uploading one a week for the last couple of weeks. Life has just been going too fast to sit down and record my thoughts. But hey, thinking about too fast, that segue was planned. Today we're going to be looking into Archspire's Too Fast to Die. The new album came out last month, and it does what it says on the tin, that's for sure. I really like the singles of this album, arched by a Canadian tech death band, one of probably the biggest names in tech death, definitely up there, and known for their just incredibly fast playthrough. There are probably more technical tech death bands, but they don't play at these speeds, and they're well aware of the speeds, hence Too Fast to Die. But as I was saying, I really like the singles on this, so much so that despite not being a huge fan of the band and not knowing all their back catalogue, I still went and saw them when they played in Australia with Aborted. I'm going to delete this out if it wasn't aborted, but leave it in if it was aborted. And Organectomy. I definitely remember that. Love Organectomy. Those tickets were a Christmas present from Mum and Dad. Thanks, Mum and Dad. Love ya. And Archspire put on an absolutely amazing live show. They are very funny, entertaining performers. Not something you'd probably guess by their sound, but I had an absolute blast. So now that I've got the record, well, I don't have the record, I've got streaming services because no one owns anything anymore, I say, sitting next to my entire bookshelf full of CDs. I've got the record on my computer via a streaming service, and how do I feel? Yeah, it's pretty good. Look, it's one note, and it's a very impressive note. And as I've already said, it's top tier tech death that's incredibly fast with these, absolute machine gun spitting vocals. And it feels like a silly complaint to be like, oh, it's only some of the best tech death in the world. Don't expect much more than some of the fastest technical death metal you'll ever hear. Ooh, I'm getting a phone call. Ooh, alright, where were we? So yes, in a world of my steak is too juicy and my lobster's too buttery complaints, it's only the best tech death in the world is how I'd talk about Archspire. I do love how they structure their song around that unique style though. They pair the spitting vocal style really well with the guitars at points and put a lot of like chugging breaks in the guitar. So it's not just 100% all the time for 40 minutes, and that's where I think they stand apart from their peers who are also very, there are other fast tech death bands out there, and a lot of them will just play non-stop, and you don't really get a moment to appreciate any of it. Whereas, they will have more traditional breakdown segments and stuff in their songs occasionally to breathe. Essentially, there is room to breathe in Archspire that other bands don't put in. I think that's why they stand out from their peers. It really creates a experience where everything is impressive but nothing is unapproachable. While listening to it, I can still tap my fingers or my feet or move my head in time with the music. It doesn't need to have stupid time signatures or anything like that to achieve technicality. And I really hate that kind of prog tech style where they rely on showy techniques that aren't actually enjoyable to listen to and only really enjoyed by it's music for musicians who listen to it and go, oh yes, that's very complex. Like I couldn't achieve that. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't sound good. I can't get into it. It's got no groove to it. And yeah, that's not the case with Archspire. It's like, oh wow, yeah, this is impressive, and I couldn't do that, but also I'm having fun with it. Reminds me of that old web series, Pure Ownage. There's like an episode where they're in a Guitar Hero competition, and one of them designs a song designed to give him the absolute maximum score in the game, instead of just enjoying the game of Guitar Hero with his friends. And that's how I view a lot of this like technical and prog side of metal, where so many people get lost in the source of being the best and showing that they're the best. They forget that they're also musicians and what music is meant to bring to people. And I think Archfire get that and translate it really well through their show. Like I said, their live show is incredibly fun. They're very silly, they're very crude and crass, and they crack a lot of jokes. They do a wall of death, and instead of splitting the crowd by some arbitrary line down the middle or something, they split the crowd by circumcision status. And like, it is silly stuff like that. I'm like, oh wow, these guys are absolutely taking the piss and then laying down 4 or 5 minutes of absolutely blistering death metal before their next funny joke. And I think they translate that into their songwriting. I think they're capable of, when they're in the writing process, being like, are we having fun with this? Are we enjoying this? Will other people enjoy this when they listen to it? And I think that's really, really awesome. I think that's what draws them to me constantly, despite not really liking the style whatsoever, is that every time I listen to it, I'm like, ah, man, this is cool. This is made to be experienced, not made for the purpose of making it. You know, this music is made for my experience. It wasn't made for the creative experience of constructing a song on their end. And it's okay to write music like that. It's just don't expect it to receive a favorable review. I will say the downside of their style being so one note is that they're very much a singles band. There's no album in their entire discography I think stands above all the others. And, you know, if you're going to listen to them, you just kind of pick the best songs from every album. And in doing that, you lose the cohesive experience of a full album. Yeah, there's no underlying story or theme. It's just kind of the songs are grouped by their mix and their tone, really. But hey, this album definitely has a few of those as well. I think Limb of Leviticus is going to be a live staple for the band, probably for a long time. It is one of their best songs, in my opinion. I was a big fan of the title track, Too Fast to Die, which was the last track on the album. Kind of the last three was a real 1, 2, 3 punch. Limb of Leviticus, Deadbolt the Backwards, Too Fast to Die. It was really strong finish. On a good album too. It's not like there are any real bad songs on here. They've got a high floor, that's for sure, of just at their base level they are great. And the curse of that is that to turn it up to the next notch, you have to be pretty damn amazing. And yeah, that's what they are on those songs. They are damn amazing. So all in all, do I recommend Archspire? Too Fast to Die? Yes, I do. It is probably just the most accessible step into this technical side of extreme metal that you can take and not feel absolutely in the deep end. And it doesn't feel like it's a stepping stone either. I don't feel like I'd recommend that then thinking that you'd move on to something else. No, you can just step onto Archspire and be like, yep, cool, this is all I need. Whenever I want this, I'm just gonna hit up Archspire again. So Archspire is all you need for technical death metal, unless you are a technical death metal savant where you need 100 different bands. And in that case, I can't help you, but I'm sure you probably like Archspire too. They've got to be the biggest in the genre for a reason. But above all of that, if they ever come back to Australia, and I assume they will, the shows were a great success, go see them. Their live show is amazing. I can't remember the last time I smiled and laughed so much at a show, and to think it was this triple death metal bill. Like, a genre I have constantly put down for being uncharismatic, especially in a live setting. And they've just got all three bands, which are super charismatic, working the audience amazingly, just cracking wires, back and forths, bloody stage bits, crowd work. It was great. Go see any of them, but really go see Archspire. And I'll probably see you there, because I'm not gonna miss them if they come back, that's for sure. And until then, until we're in the pit together at an Archspire show, I just want to say thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more album reviews, and until the next one, which hopefully won't be another week, peace out.